Welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. This one's going to look a little different, it's going to feel a little different, and it's going to sound a little different. I was fortunate enough to have a booth at the NRA annual meetings Radio Row, which is something new the NRA is doing at their annual meetings. I was able to do a number of audio-only interviews, and what you're about to hear is one of those. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. If you're listening to the show in podcast form, please leave a positive review. And if you like the show, share it with your friends, because that is how we get the Stagecoach across America. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. This is a quick pit stop where we're talking to some people that we've had on the show, or maybe even some new people, but we're doing quick little audio interviews. Today, right now, we have Mike Ox from almost everything, right?
A few things. Yeah, Red Dot Mastery, Dry Fire Training Cars, VisionTraining.com.
Unbelievable, man. You keep yourself busy.
I have. Yeah.
One of my friends is like, how does this guy advertise everywhere? I'm like, I have no idea. So that's
it's just I'm
fantastic.
tracking you.
Yeah, right. You're taking advantage of all the technology that we have out there.
Yeah, it's all automatic.
Oh my gosh. Well, I want to talk about red dots, and I bought a 365 last year, and I bought a red dot for it, and I think what it comes down to is I don't like the rear sights, because the rear sight on the red dot is a lot higher than the rear sight on the gun.
Okay.
And I don't know if I have to get different rear sights for it, because then I'd be really aggravated, because now I got a brand new gun, and then I bought a red dot, and now I got to get new sights to see the red dot, and I'm like, this seems ridiculous. But it's I was doing some shooting with it recently, and I think the red dot creeps over to the left a little bit. And so my buddy's like, don't worry about the sights, just look at the dot. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right. So talk me off the ledge about this, because I'm really thinking about going back to my J-frame.
All right. Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with irons.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Right. And there was oh man, what, 2 months ago there was a big discussion with was it Tom Givens? This is like one of the internet battles. Tom Givens came out.
Yeah,
he's
I forget who started the brouhaha, but
right, there was something that he's like, I'm not going to red dots. You guys can do it. You kids can do what you want to do. I'm not doing this. And I'm like, dude, it does whatever. It takes all types. And if he's not going to go to red dots, it's not going to be an issue.
No, the really, really cool thing with red dots is they make you a better iron sight shooter.
Really?
Yeah, because if you think about how sloppy you can be with an iron sight presentation, you can throw that gun up anywhere in your field of view and figure out what you need to do to fix it and get on target.
Okay.
With a red dot, you've got about a 1-inch window that you have to be in, or you're not going to see the dot, and you may not know which direction to move it.
Gotcha.
So you learn the presentation to automatically deliver the dot, and you're going to automatically deliver the irons also. And just that can cut half a second to a second off of people's
their times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't think the red dot lines up with the sights, and that's where I'm like, this doesn't feel right. I'm not going to do it.
Well, you don't want to use them together.
You don't want to use them together.
Correct. They're independent aiming systems.
Okay. This could be the deal then. Keep going. Keep talking.
If you try and use them together, you're going to basically get rid of all the benefits of the dot.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to slow you down.
How? Keep talking.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. The first optics that I can find on pistols were in 1978.
Wow.
And we've made a lot of progress in the years since then.
Sure.
On technique and how to use them most effectively. And it went from being a hobby thing of, can I make this happen and not blow something up, to relying on them for serious defense and serious uses.
Gotcha.
So techniques and things have changed along the way too, but all of that information hasn't gotten out. 5-10 years ago, there were a lot of people teaching, well, even today still, there's instructor training that teaches that you use the irons to find the dot.
Right.
And it's just, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. That's a lot of fighting all the things that you've learned before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's, when I got into red dots, I knew I had to because students were asking me for advice and instructors were asking me for advice, and I didn't have enough time on them to have anything meaningful to say. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I'm seeing a lot of people struggle with dots. I'm really not up for that. I like my irons. I'm good with my irons. I don't need the dot. I'm just doing it so I can help people.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I got to figure out how do I make the switch in one rep. And figured out.
One rep?
One rep.
Oh my gosh.
So I reverse engineered it and installed my dot on a Saturday and went and shot a match the next morning. And I put 10 rounds through it to sight it in, and that was it. Purposely didn't do any presentations with it.
Wow.
And did very well in the match. No delay.
Really?
So the ingredients, if you want to know the ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one's a no-brainer. Consistent grip. If your grip's off from rep to rep, you got lots of issues. Second thing is the dot mounted as low as possible, and you don't need suppressor sight heights or suppressor height.
Easy for you to say.
Sights.
Okay.
Just factory sights are fine. That they can be even with the bottom of the frame of the optic. So you don't have to see the notch in the front sight in the middle of the window. They can be down on the bottom. And then the dot in the middle of the window.
Dot in the middle of the window. Okay.
Yeah. And so grip, low-mounted optic. Third thing is stabilized eye dominance. And this is a crazy one because most people think there's right and left eye dominance, but there's two other kinds.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's cyclopean or central eye dominance, which about 11% of the population have. And with central dominance, the brain combines the images from the two eyes into a hybrid third image that doesn't exist in reality, that looks like it's coming out of the middle of your head, and you try and aim with it. This is not rare.
It's not rare.
It is not rare.
It sounds like you're doing a lot of drugs, man. Holy moly.
No, but so with the traditional eye dominance test, with the triangle or the circle test, it doesn't show up. What you have to do is have a dummy gun and have a student pointed at you, or the student draw and present towards a video camera.
Really?
And then look at the image and see where stuff's lining up.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
That's the only way to really test eye dominance.
Gotcha.
And then the fourth type of eye dominance is mixed. And with mixed, if cyclopean is 50-50 between the eyes, mixed is like 60-40 or 70-30.
Oh, wow.
So when you look at that, the sights are lining up back with the corner of the eye instead of the pupil or the bridge of the nose.
What?
Yeah.
This is wild stuff.
It's 20%. So between the two, you got over 30% of the population has one of those forms of eye dominance.
Wow.
And with a dot, if you bring up the dot and it's not pointed back at your pupil, you're not going to see it. The window is that small.
Damn. That's wild.
So that's number 3. And then number 4 is pointing accuracy. Because as anyone who's been around a toilet after men have peed knows, even though we've been aiming since birth,
right?
Aiming accurately is not something we can naturally do.
Right.
Even though everybody thinks they can. And this has been proven out with every study on pointing accuracy since 1975.
I was in the bathroom this morning. There was no pointing accuracy at all. I'm standing with my feet as wide as I can. Yeah. Right? It really is, the bathroom floor is the great abyss. Like, if something hits the bathroom floor, it's done. It's gone. Like, never again.
Well, if people could point accurately, we'd have a few things. Yeah. We'd hit a lot more bullseyes and darts. We'd hit the hole a lot more in cornhole. And people would never miss a 3-foot putt.
Wow, okay.
And all of those are because of perceptual distortions in distance. that happen because of how the eyes and the inner ears are sending mixed signals to the brain.
Gotcha.
So in Red Dot Mastery, we lay out a real quick process to take care of the dominance and the pointing accuracy all in a few minutes.
Wow. In a few minutes. This is the stuff that boggles my mind. In a few minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can walk you through one of them right now on improving pointing accuracy. That'll work on the radio.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay. So pick something in the distance that you can point at.
Okay.
Shut your eyes, point at it, and then open your eyes. And were you dead on, right or left?
Let's see. I am low.
You're low?
Yeah.
Okay. What I want you to do is up about 45 degrees above your head, snap 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit higher. Look. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now go ahead and try it again.
All right. No way.
Yeah.
It worked.
So the reason it's important is we present our gun based on what our ears are telling our brain, not what our eyes are telling our brain.
Really?
It's not until we get the gun out in front of us that the eyes can pick it up, but the process of seeing the gun, saying, is it aligned or is it not aligned, figuring out a plan to fix it, and starting that motor action takes between 0.15 and 0.5 seconds.
Wow.
So each time you have to make a correction, you're adding that much time on.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. All right, I got to go back and listen to this again and work on this. Because I do want to want to join the rest of the world and carry a bottom feeder. And I think I'd like to carry appendix, but the appendix doesn't. The holster. I was just talking to Jacob Paulson.
Yeah.
The holster I have is not good for appendix carry because the holster's not longer than the barrel.
Okay.
So that was something I got from them, and Riley Bowman made an independent appendix carry for me for my J-frame, and I carried that for the summer, right? Appendix carry J-frame in the KSG holster, and then when I got the 365, I got a holster for it, but it just went down to the end of the barrel, and that was it. And I'm like, this needs to be longer. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, no, it does. Because it always flops out.
Yep.
Right?
It won't be stable otherwise.
Right. And then I've got the red dot on the 365, so that's what I gotta work on that. That's going to be my project this summer, to get used to carrying the 365 and using the red dot.
Cool.
All right.
That'll be fun.
And we'll do another one and let you know how it goes.
Okay.
All right. How can people find you and all the stuff that you're up to?
Reddotmastery.com.
Yeah.
And visiontraining.com.
Okay, cool. Because I don't want you to obviously blow the whole book here, because you want people to buy the book. All right. So,
no, there's a ton in there. That's a tiny bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, very cool. So we'll put some links there. Mike, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate this. It's always good to run into. Always good to see you. I'm glad we were able to make it happen at this, even though we couldn't make it happen at SHOT this past year. But maybe we'll do something at SHOT, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Sounds awesome.
All right. Very cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.